Hey guys, what's happening? We're back at you again here with the Paradigm Vengence build video. We are going to show you the ins and outs of this guy. I've been using him for a while now, and I like this RDA. I really like this freaking thing. I haven't had a lot of quad post RDAs, I gotta say. I had the 454, which wasn't really a quad post, so to say, but it was a quad coil setup. I did like that one. Vertical coils were pretty freaking awesome in that thing. Yeah. So I was going to do a build video today. Haven't really decided. I got some coils wrapped up that I did earlier, and I'm thinking after I wrapped them, I was like, I should do vertical coils like I was just talking about. Would probably be pretty awesome in this thing, considering the way the build deck is set up. You got a lot of room for a nice vertical coil there. I don't know, I wrapped some smaller coils. Just wrapped 4, 10 wraps, 28 gauge. And this, I gotta say, this is really forgiving build deck. You can very easily get all 4 coils in here without too much of a headache. And the way that they've set it up, the holes are facing out, right? So they're kind of turned in towards each other, so the wires they just poke right in perfectly. So the way that I was doing it, I just do 2 this side. You have to get them all in at once and then kind of work around and tighten them. But it's not as hard as you think. Okay, I'll bring everything down a bit and show you. So what I do in this stage, when I wrap the coils, I've kind of clipped them all short. So you go and kind of just get one figured out. Test fit it, poke it in there, get it where you want it, and figure out how long to leave these leads. And you kind of need to just go around and kind of test fit each coil. Once you get the kind of the length figured out, you kind of know, okay, well, it's going to be roughly about that much. So I just kind of go by that for right now. Might seem kind of crazy to some, but it works for me. And I just kind of keep working around and just poking them in. And I use my blue screwdriver, if you need to, just to see that coil kind of went in funny. Just the way that they're wrapped. Just to straighten it out if you want to just make sure that it's going to be the right length, because you need it to line up over that little air hole, right? So I can tell this one's going to be okay where it is. So I'm going to move on to the next one now. And it makes a big difference when you, if you line these, make sure that they're kind of coming out at the same height on the coil there. And they're kind of fanning out a little bit, just like that. Maybe a little too much in that case. Maybe just like that. It makes it really easy to kind of just squish them in, poke it, let go, and it'll kind of expand out and just kind of poke right into the holes like it's supposed to. So again, cut these ones off. I don't usually do all these builds right on camera like this, but I'll try and do this for you guys. I'm getting a new setup here shortly, camera-wise. Hopefully we can make this a little bit better. So I'm going to clip it, about there. Try and match it up with the other side as best I can anyway. Sometimes this is the trickiest part, it's just getting them in the holes at the end. Takes a little bit of patience. Got that one where I wanted it. One more to do. Oh, sorry guys, get that focus. And then you just kind of slowly got to kind of try to hold them in there and work around and tighten them all up. So I'm going to trim this last coil. Man, these are good magnetic clippers. Yeah, it's about right again. A little bit longer on that one leg. And let's see what we got. So I can see right there I got a leg poking through, but it shouldn't be too bad. I think I could make that work. Got to watch out for those legs, because what will happen is they'll short out on the other coil and cause you problems. So now I can see that the length of these coils is great. You need to keep it inside the ring so that obviously you're not going to hit anything when you cinch your rings down. So I'm just going to poke that in a little bit, and I'm actually going to start cinching these down a bit just to try and hold them in place And once you start torquing down on the wire, the coils are going to turn up. So you need to kind of just do one wire at a time. And I'm going to go around and tweak these all with my screwdriver after, and make sure that they are where I want them to be. Helps to have a little bit bigger of a screwdriver here too. Okay, so that last one, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it is actually. I want to poke this one in just a bit more. So what I like to use in this case is just your magic blue screwdriver. Just poke it through the coil, and you can use that to put some pressure on the wire and help poke it in there a little further. And see, it didn't even work. Okay, reboot. Okay, so I just popped that one back in and just worked my way around, just like I was doing there, and screwed them down. I'll screw one side down, and then I'll use this blue screwdriver if I need to pull the other side out a little bit, and center them over the air holes. It's pretty straightforward. So I kind of like them at the same height, so I go around and work them all to the same height. We're going to get busy and wick this up here shortly. So I'm going to burn it in. I'm just going to go around and make sure everything is the same. So I can see a couple of these are a little tighter than the others. So I just want to make sure they're all nice and tight. That one. That's better. Okay, so we'll throw this up on the IPv3 here and burn it in, see where it's at. I have no idea where these coils are right now, resistance wise, as I have no way to test it other than on here. My resistance tester kicked the bucket. Okay, I'm just going to bring the camera up here a little bit. Hopefully you guys can bear with me while I do this. Don't usually do it on camera. Okay, there she is. So, hit the button real quick and see what she says. 0.45 ohm before she's burned in. This could be good. This means I can probably use this on my Cloudform Mini. Okay, so my wattage. I'm glad I didn't do anything there because I would have popped some coils. That's 62 watts. Crank this down to about 20 watts. I don't know, 17 watts, and we'll burn her in. Okay, so I got one coil that's not even getting warm at all. What's going on there? So I gotta take a look at this coil. Okay, so I just tightened up the screws a little bit more. Let's see if that worked. It was hot, the wires. Okay, so I don't got enough power. Crank it up a bit more here. I'm going to drop the voltage down to 0.35 now. Alright, 35 watts. Okay, that one coil is getting really hot. So a lot of times when you burn things in, the power's going to go all uneven and look crazy. I'm going to squish these wires here as I work my way around and try to even them up. And this does help so much. Nice glow, got off the power, squish it. These other ones here now, look at that, they're all starting to glow evenly now. Enough for me. So you can see nice even glow, fairly quick ramp up. I like it. So now I'm just going to torque these down just a little bit more now because the wires have contracted and expanded a bit just in that heating cooling process we went through there. Double check that everything's still okay. Booyah. Just like I like to see. So some guys like to leave their coils on a slant Others like to do them straight like me. Some want verticals. Other guys are going to wrap Claptons, and it doesn't matter. I don't care. This thing here is a great... Oh, look at that. I came up to a 0.47. So I think I can still use that on the IPV. Be close. So I'm going to wick this up and build it. Get it back together and have a couple puffs on her here. Okay, so we're back here. I'm going to go ahead and wick this up. So I'm using Cellucotton. That's what I got. I like it. Works. So I kind of just split it right in half. Take about half of it. And I'm looking at the coils, and I know they're small coils, so this is going to be probably too much almost still. So let's peel a bit more. That's the beautiful thing about the Cellucotton. You can kind of just keep working away at it until you get it where you want it. You can keep pulling it this way and stretching it out and thinning it out. Make sure you've washed your hands prior to doing this. And these coils are thin coils, so you need to be careful not to mess them all up. Now that you've squished them and they're all heating evenly, you'd be ashamed to go and pull them all apart, right? So that is where you need to kind of just use your thumbnail as you're doing this and protect it from pulling it sideways. So do my best to get this on camera for you guys. So once I start to feel resistance on the coil there, right now if I pull any harder, it's going to pull that whole coil sideways. So I kind of just like to spin medium around a bit, tighten it up, and I'm almost where I want to be right here. So I'm just going to put my thumbnail on the side, pull through just a little bit extra, and that's good for this one. And a lot of guys too, what they like to do in quads like this, you can pull one thing through. Like if you wanted to keep pulling this through, and then you kind of leave a little loop on the end, and then you start feeding it through the next one, and then you leave another little loop at the end, and then you feed through the next one. You can do all 4 coils like this. I personally don't want it all wrapped around the outside of the posts. I want some on the inside. So just from personal building preference, I like to cut them and kind of tuck them under, just to kind of get some material in the middle, because that's where I'm going to be dripping, right? Okay, so I just cut one, and at least, you know, I don't leave too much, because you're going to have 4 coils to work with, so it'll be enough at the end. So that's enough for me to cut it out that long, and then I'm going to carry on and continue to wick the rest of them. And then at the end we'll tuck it all in. It looks a little funny, but I just started tucking it in on the one side there, and I'm going to start working around and trying to feed a lot of that stuff into the center so that I have a place to drip. So it's pretty straightforward, guys. And there she is. Doesn't look very pretty, but it's going to work great. So I'm going to go now and saturate it up with some e-liquid, and we'll give it a vape, see how she goes. Okay, so I went ahead and saturated it up, for the most part anyway. Booyah, what's that at? 34 watts. So I'm going to go on now. Just make sure, like, one thing you got to go around and you see the airflow, those holes. You got to make sure that your coils are sitting up above so that you actually have airflow and that your material is not all pushed down those holes. I initially ended up having to trim off some more of the cotton as there was just too much in there. Couldn't really do anything with it. So now I put the airflow control ring on. Let's go this on first. So this is going to be a quad coil setup, so I need to make sure all 4 are open. So that's the one I want right there. And then this guy. And this is probably one of the more important stages. When you put this on, you need to make sure that none of your coils are contacting anywhere on the inside of this ring. Because if they are, they will short out. And if they short out, that'll be a problem. You see that one on the top there? It's really close. So I'm going to move that one in just a little bit. This one here. So, makes me feel better. And on test fire, Make sure all 4 coils are popping evenly. That's important. Double check everything, and we're done. So pretty easy build, I gotta say. To build a quad coil setup like that, it's pretty damn forgiving. If you want to adjust the airflow, you just crack the top, and then you can adjust the ring. What I like is I'm going to seal it all up. I'm going to go clean it up. I'll be right back. Whew. There she goes. I cranked her up a bit, and she throws some clouds. Man. I gotta say, if you're into chasing clouds, this guy might be for you. Good flavors too. Gotta say, it's not bad. I don't even have the wide bore on there either. It's enough for me. But good airflow, it doesn't leak. You just dump the juice right in there. And I love the way they've got these kind of reverse drilled, so that even if something does leak, it can't just piss out the hole, because it's drilled down like this. So if it does leak, it's got to leak up to the top first, right? So it's a pretty good design. Condensation buildup does happen in the air channels with these things, and it stops even the condensation from leaking, right? So good design, like it. If you like the video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up for me. Make it cloudy for me, my friends. Keep calm. Vape on.